primary school, my godbrother drowned. His body found out at sea. No, we were not by the beach, nor even by a river. We were playing near where we live in Upper Bond Road, St. James. Quite a distance from any body of water. So, how did he drown? How did his body wash that far away? He fell into a drain over 10 feet deep and was washed away. One of those same drains that we walk and drive past daily. Why is it over 20 years later, no one has covered these hazards? Now that I have a child of my own who would most likely end up playing near these things, I'm wondering more than ever, why are we not fixing this? Even yesterday, I saw someone drive into one, sticking one of his wheels into the drain. Luckily, the DDP plans to cover all these drains nationwide. No longer will we have to worry about falling in. This country needs leaders who can get off their high horses and get down to ground level where they can see the problems of the common man. How many days, weeks, months do we have to drive in the same potholes before they are fixed? Most of us are aware of the saying, workers against smooth asphalt, WASA. Let me repeat, workers against smooth asphalt, WASA. Now you can fill in the blanks if you want to. How can you tell me we are supposed to be on our way to becoming a first world country when we are still plagued by these problems? The time for a reset is now. Sometimes drastic situations call for drastic measures. A new party with new faces is needed now. I'm sure most people will be wondering why support the DDP. Allow me to tell you why I joined this party with these stories. I remember a while back, sitting in a taxi heading to Port of Spain, when the news came on the radio. The story was concerning plans to eradicate crime. The story spoke about hiring more police officers, having more patrols, etc. The story went on concerning superficial plans to stop crime. I remember muttering under my breath that their plans will never work. The driver, an older gentleman, heard me and we began discussing my idea to reduce crime in this country. As I told him, we need plans to stop crime at the source. How can you really stop someone who is so motivated that nothing will stop him? I told him that I always hear about folks being able to leave their front doors and go out. Leave their front doors unlocked and go out. Then I asked him what was different back then. He remembered how much of a paradise this country was until the government of the day added tax to everything. People left the country, leaving their homes to rot because of no longer being able to pay their mortgages. Exactly, I told him, that's the point. A lot of people are motivated to commit crimes due to financial reasons. Poverty, ladies and gentlemen. For example, the bandit who breaks into a home. The couple who kill each other, arguing over not having enough money to pay the bills. Lack of finances, lack of hope. Now this leads me back to why I joined the Democratic Development Party. We need to seriously rethink our approach to reducing crime. We need to tackle it at its source. I believe that by removing those senseless import fees on items would actually lead to less crime. Why? If it were more affordable to live in this country, then why would someone need to steal? Why would our citizens have to leave seeking refuge elsewhere? The DDP plans to establish a duty-free nation. This means that we will no longer pay so much extra for what we need. How much extra do we pay for our cell phones, our cars, or even our clothing? What if we could make those things more affordable? Not only that, but citizens with salaries below $15,000 per month will not be taxed. This means more money in the pockets of the average man and woman and no need to steal to survive. I believe people are good deep down inside. We only need to help them bring it out. There are also so few opportunities for Middle Trinidad and Tobago for the small and medium businesses. We can change this. Now, obviously, there will always be those in every country who do the wrong things. However, adding more police officers can't fix this. We have all seen videos on social media showing just how untrained some of them are. This is why the DDP will invest in training our existing force, equipping them with knowledge to know how to deal with the situation. Not only will we train them, but we will pay them a salary which will enable them to be comfortable enough to do a good job, eliminating the need to accept bribes. Imagine a country where the police force is respected, where we can go to them for help. Let's just imagine a country where a citizen can report a crime without fear. It is possible if we are allowed to work at it. This is one of the reasons I joined. Our plans will get Trinidad and Tobago that much closer to the paradise it once was. I joined because I want a reset for this country. At my first meeting with the leader of our party, Mr. Harold Lemon Pricky, we spoke about young people leaving school and not being sure where they can get jobs. No jobs usually means more crime, right? This is why we need a reset. We need to invest in developing our economy, invest in creating more opportunity for our citizens. A country is only as strong as its people. Therefore, proper investment needs to take place to both train and employ our people. We all know that we can only rely on oil revenues for so much longer. The time to start developing is now. It's not just about new buildings. It's not just about new highways. It's not just about putting up structures or pictures just to impress those in charge. No. We also need to develop our people. What was your dream as a child? Did you dream about being a fireman? How many of you dreamed about being doctors or nurses? What about those who wanted to be the best fashion designer or those who wanted to be the top football player in Trinidad and Tobago? We will need to put programs in place to develop the dreams and talents of our people. It's time for us to dream again and rid ourselves of the nightmare. Now, this is a story I tell a lot, but it has significant meaning. Back when I was in secondary school, about Form 3 or Form 4, I started learning how to sail boats. I'm talking about those with sails, using the wind to move them. There was this incident where my friends and myself decided to try a 30-foot boat. The larger your vessel, the larger your sails, and the greater the effort needed to put into operating it. On that day, I was the captain, and we were trying to race a smaller motorized boat. Our larger vessel was keeping up until, I guess, I pushed it a little too hard and it capsized. The procedure when this happens requires you to swim under the boat and untie all ropes. You need to reset the boat in other words. If you don't, the sail will just take wind and the boat would speed off on its own. Now we ignored procedure, thinking someone will be able to jump back and take control when we flipped it the right way. Bad idea. The boat immediately shut off too fast for any of us to get back on. Luckily, when all of this was happening, the other boat, the smaller motorized one, came back. I climbed on board and we raced ahead of the larger sailboat. From there, I did one of the most exciting things I ever did in my life. I dived off and swam as fast as I could towards the sailboat. Climbed on board, untied everything, making sure there was no damage. The point of this story being, a country can be thought of as a sailboat. Every election, we have the opportunity to untie the ropes and inspect the damage, even chart a new course. When last have the ropes really been untied? As far as I can remember, it's always been the same people captaining the ship, the same old tired crew sailing us in circles. Sooner or later, it would need to be untied and checked for damage also. I support the DDP so that someone else can captain the boat. Someone else can take opportunity to untie those ropes. Someone else can check it for damage. Someone else can chart a new course for our great nation. The ship will sink if we continue to allow the same captain and the same old tired crew to mismanage it. It's time we elect a new captain. It's time for a new crew. Let's repair the damage. Let's scrape off those barnacles which are slowing us down. Let's chart a new course. Let's elect a new down-to-earth captain who will lead us in a new direction. Harold M. Creaky is the one to lead this country to its full potential. Resetting Trinidad and Tobago is no longer something we have to wish for. Put your trust in the Democratic Development Party and we can assure you a better TNT. Thank you.